So, think about the last time you went through something really, really difficult. You probably didn't sit there and say, wow, I am just so incredibly joyful right now.
Right. I mean, that is completely counterintuitive to how we're actually wired.
Exactly. But today we are taking a deep dive into an audio broadcast that completely flips that modern obsession with, material happiness on its head. It's from Pastor Hu's Zhikong, recorded back on May 23rd, 2026.
And it tackles a really profound tension. We are so conditioned to chase earthly comforts, but the broadcast suggests we should actually seek joy in hardship.
Yeah, which sounds wild at first. The broadcast pulls from the biblical text of Matthew 5, along with writings from the theologian John MacArthur. Basically, the core argument is that believers should rejoice when facing persecution.
Because it does two things, right? It proves they actually belong to God, like joining the ranks of the ancient prophets, and it guarantees this massive eternal reward.
Okay, but I have to push back on that reward part a little bit. I mean, isn't doing good things just to get a reward inherently, selfish?
Oh, it totally sounds like
A kid only doing their chores because they want an allowance, right?
Yeah.
It just feels
very transactional, yeah. That word reward almost always triggers that exact reaction because we automatically default to thinking about material things.
right, like a cosmic bonus check or something.
Exactly. But the theology he's unpacking here clarifies that this isn't an earthly payout. It's a purely spiritual motivation. The source actually points to the book of Hebrews, referencing Jesus on the cross.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, showing that Jesus endured all that immense suffering specifically for the future joy set before him. So the reward is ultimate spiritual fulfillment and connection.
Okay, that makes sense. And what's fascinating is how Pastor Hugh takes that high-level theology and brings it down to a very grounded reality. Let's talk about his Jeju Island trip.
Right, the 5-day vacation.
Yeah, so he recently took this 5-day trip to Jeju Island in South Korea. He went with his wife, his 2 daughters, and his 2 sons-in-law.
And the detail that really stands out in his account is that this was actually his wife's first trip abroad in 8 whole years.
Which is crazy because people in his own community actually started questioning him about it. They were like, why don't you take your wife abroad more often?
You can totally see the cultural assumption driving that question. We just naturally equate joy and success directly with travel, fine dining, designer bags, all of that.
It's that allowance we were just talking about.
Exactly. But the pastor uses their reaction to redefine what success looks like for his own life. He states his ultimate joy isn't found in lavish vacations, but in the spiritual work of shepherding his congregation.
And the mechanism behind that makes his joy so much more resilient. I mean, material joy is extrinsic, right? It depends on your bank account.
Or your physical circumstances. Yeah.
Exactly. But spiritual shepherding is intrinsic. It relies on internal devotion, meaning nobody can take that away through financial ruin or hardship.
Yeah, and you really see that intrinsic value shaping his actual environment. He's been pastoring at Beipu Church for 35 years now.
35 years is a long time. And the culture there is so focused on mutual support over external status that 2/3 of the congregation are first-generation Christians.
Which says a lot about how grounded it is.
Yeah.
Even more surprising, his adult children say they actually enjoy growing up as pastors' kids.
And that is notoriously a really difficult fishbowl for kids to navigate. There are so many hypocritical expectations.
Oh, for sure. But by stripping away the pressure of material status, the church environment just removes a lot of those expectations. It allows the kids to just be kids, supported by the community, rather than judged by it.
I do want to point out a really critical caveat from the broadcast, though, because the pastor warns that this whole concept of joy in suffering only counts if it's actually for your faith.
Right, you can't just make a terrible choice, face the consequences, and then claim you're being persecuted.
Exactly. If you cross a line and mess up, you can't claim persecution. That's just a wake-up call.
And making that distinction takes real self-awareness. The broadcast categorizes self-inflicted hardship not as persecution, but as spiritual discipline. So the required response isn't to rejoice.
It's to reflect and change course. Like, he uses the biblical parable of the prodigal son to illustrate this. It's a signal to turn your life around, not some badge of honor to wear.
Exactly. So to summarize, we've explored a major reframing today, moving away from the endless chase for material comforts to find sustainable satisfaction in devotion and community building.
But that leaves us with a totally different question for you to ponder. We've talked all about finding joy when the outside world pushes against you.
Right, looking beyond immediate gratification.
But what happens when the very community or belief system you've anchored your entire joy to actually becomes the source of the hardship? How do you rebuild your foundation when the anchor itself breaks?